Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be analyzing a game that I played OTB, which is over the board. So let's get started. Alright, so this is like the game that I played at like a club I go to. And this was like a really good game that I played. But you'll have to see. It'll probably be in the thumbnail though. But I got two brilliant moves in the same game, which are two rook sacrifices. So let's get started. All right, so e4 c6, which is the Caricon, which I always play, and then we got the fantasy variation, which usually isn't too good. I mean, it's like okay, but like usually when you like continue this, it doesn't get too good for um white. So I go e6, and then he plays e5, which is just not a good move. I have c5 here, which it makes it into a this is still a Caricon defense fantasy variation, but it's kind of like the French position because you're gonna be having like this, and this always happens in the French when you play c5 to try and break a structure. It does also happen in the Caricon. So he goes c3, which is just not a good move, and then I go knight c6. I just need to continue pressure, and I saw that the only other way, if I take back, the only other way is to defend with the knight, right? And that will block the bishop. So I thought he was going to play bishop b5, but he plays a5, which is just a terrible move. I immediately take, and then I play queen b6. It's an okay move, but there's definitely a way better move, which is queen h4. And you might be like, okay, well, this is just a check. You can just play g3. Well, I guess I just get a free pawn now. I have knight c2 tactics, so he has to play rook a2 or maybe just move the king. Probably rook a2 is better, since if you move the king, you lose the right to castle. And then your king's just in the middle of the board. But I completely missed that. I go for queen b6, since now I know he can't go bishop e3 because I take his free pawn. And if he goes knight e2, he blocks his light squared bishop. And the only way is to to make it develop is you have to play g2 and then bishop g2, which is 2 moves long. Well, I can just take out my pieces like this. And then I'd castle, and then I'd be in a pretty good position. Since now he has pawns like this, pawns are all over the board. I mean, f4 could happen, but it's just not good if I have my bishop on e7, since I could play like g5 here and open up the position. So he plays knight e2, which is the only move you could play in this position. Knight c3 is the second best move, but that just blunders the pawn. The only way to defend the pawn is knight e2. So he goes knight e2. I develop my knight because I want to play knight f5, just continue the pressure, so that he has to play bishop b3. b4 is what happens, which I was actually thinking was going to happen, since now you can play bishop b2. I still continue with knight f5, just continuing the pressure, because then bishop b2, I have knight e3. I actually missed a5 here, which is a really good move. If he has to sacrifice the pawn, basically, no matter what, because let's just say he plays like a random move, like h3. I can take, and then look at this. This is really strong here. Now he has to move his king, or he can play bishop c3. But he probably would not want to trade pieces now, because his king is completely open. If he trades the only actual piece of defending the dark squares after here, knight takes, and then I have knight takes d4. So that's why he can't do that. Which not what happened, because also he cannot take the pawn actually, because well his bishop's hanging then. So I go knight e3. I was actually like looking at like I wanted him to play queen d2 so I could fork these two pieces, and then I could take the bishop. After queen d2, which is what he actually played in the game, there is actually knight takes f1 is actually the second best move, and then knight c4 is actually the best move. So I did actually see both of them, and I was like, okay, knight c4 is a little bit better. But actually, I wasn't supposed to take here. I was actually supposed to play this crazy move right here. This is another brilliancy. Technically, there would have been 3 brilliancies in my game if I did play this. Because after takes, just lose the queen. You cannot defend the queen anymore. It's impossible to defend the queen. Queen's gonna have to sacrifice itself. After bishop c3, I can just go back, and then I'm just cleanly up a queen. Well, not cleanly, but I'm just up a queen now. But I did not see that move. That would have been a great move to play. Knight takes b4 brilliancy. I played knight takes b2, but I played that way too fast, or I played that way too fast because I was like, okay, I'm gonna win the bishop, but I should have just saw knight b4, and I would have just been up a pawn there. And then we trade. I go a6 because I did not want b5 ideas. Let's just say I played like bishop e7. I did not like b5. I mean, it's not bad because he can't take it, but I just don't like having him have pawns because then he could just play like a4, a5 once I move my knight. So I just did not like it. So I go a6 so I can stop it. He develops his knight, and then I just continue developing. Rook b1. I didn't really understand what rook b1 did, but apparently it was the best move. I just castle here, knight f3, and I'm just continuing like trying to pile up some stuff. I have ideas of like trying to like sacrifice and then open up lines. Not yet, but I was trying to like set it up after like f6 and stuff, and then I'd be able to win the pawn. So after here, he goes knight c1, probably trying to go knight e3 or knight b3, add some more protection, or he can go knight d3. So then I go f6, knight d3, and then I play f takes e5. And then here, the best move is actually d takes e5. The knight takes aren't really good because I can play knight takes e5, and then after f takes e5, I still have the same rook takes f3 sacrifice, which is actually what I did. So after f takes, instead of like doing the knight takes, I sacrificed my rook. So this might just seem like, oh, it's just you're down the exchange now. Oh, he's just gonna take back. Well, after you take back, I can play knight takes d4, or I can play bishop h4, which is what I did. So now what bishop h4 does is it forces the king to move. Now, it has to move. If you go knight f2, I just have knight takes d4. I'm going to win this pawn eventually. I'm going to play rook c2. I'm going to get all my pieces in. So he moves his king because he does not want to deal with that. And then once I go knight takes d4, I'm going to set up like rook c2, bring in my pieces. He plays knight c5, and then I sacrifice my next rook. Another brilliancy. He takes, I go bishop a4. He's completely losing now. It might look like, oh, well, he's up the exchange twice. Oh, well, look at his king right now. Look at how his king's in the center of the board. Everything's just completely cut off right now, right? So I go queen takes c5 here. I'm going to set up knight b3 or knight f3. So let's just say like h3, right? So after knight takes f3, there's two moves, right? So after this, queen c4, and then queen e4, checkmate. So that's what happens after king d3. If king e2, then there's still queen c4. He has to go king e3 or king f3. King e3, queen e4. If king f3, queen e4. No matter what, it's going to be queen c4, queen e3. So that's why he can't do anything. So he plays king e3, which is just a complete blunder. Now I just have knight c2 or knight f5 check. I go knight c2. I like that more. Brings my knight in. And then here there's just a faster checkmate. No matter what here, the next move, it's going to be checkmate. There's nothing, you cannot stop checkmate here. The reason is because queen e3 is unstoppable. You can play queen c3, but then I just have g5. You cannot stop g5 and queen e3. So what happens here is, well, I just go queen e3 immediately. No matter what, it's going to be forced checkmate. After he goes king g4, h5, I sacrifice another piece. After bishop takes h4, or king takes h4, queen f4, no matter where he goes, if he goes here, checkmate. And then what happened in the game was he just took the pawn on h5, and then I go bishop e8, bringing my bishop all the way back. Just so you can see, you can see that it says 2 brilliancies and 1 great move. Knight f5, and then the two brilliant moves were rook takes f3 and rook takes c5, sacrificing both my rooks. I think the reason my accuracy is really low is because I missed a few key moves that would have won me the game earlier. But I think that was one of my favorite games. I think I played really good in that game, and I really liked that game. Alright, so that was the end of the video. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.